guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I am going to attempt to make a rib fence for the bandsaw that I rebuilt. It doesn't have a rib fence, so I am going to attempt to make one using one of these Harbor Freight clamp and cut edge guides. Along with, I have two pieces of this aluminum railing that was used to install a solar panel. So you guys may not have access to this. So a piece of wood or a 2x4, whatever that you could, some sort of square, would just do fine. I just happen to have some of these, so I'm gonna use it. What I'm gonna do is basically, I'm going to take this apart, cut it to length, because I don't want this to be, this is way too long for my application. It doesn't need to be this long. So I could make it shorter. So I could actually, make it fit on here, clamp it down, and, I don't have to have 16 miles of this being sticking out. This is a 24-inch one, so this is a I guess from end to end is 24 inches. Like from here to here is 24 inches. I don't need it to be that long, so but you have to do some measurements before you make cuts. So I'm gonna do measurements, see how much I need, then I'm gonna cut it accordingly. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so total I'm gonna cut out of this is 4 inches, so it's not much. But first, let's get started to take this apart. Take this, we need to disassemble to cut and measure and all that stuff. So let's do that. I'm gonna take this apart. Make sure you don't have any tension on. Make sure the tension is off. I'm gonna place this over here. There's a pin right there that needs to be hammered out. So get your pen punch. Alright. The handle should come off like this. Remove the plastic. It's a very simple construction, guys. It's not nothing crazy. This part of it is crazy. Alright. So this end of it pops out, right? So we need to, what they have here, it's a spring. Right, so we're gonna cut everything down 4 inches. The tricky part is gonna be this area right there. This is so they have it's clamped in, and it's we have to find a way to actually cut this 4 inches out and replace this pin right here, which is not bad. We could figure that part out. I'm gonna sand this down a little bit, and this pin should just fall out. Alright guys, since I'm gonna have to cut this anyway, so I'm not gonna waste time to remove the pen. I'm just gonna measure 4 inches down, then I'm gonna cut it, and I am going to do the same thing with this. Measure 4 inches and just cut it. So I punched a hole, and I use one of these white nails that you could find at any hardware store. Actually, Walmart has these as well. So I put it through the hole, and I cut it down a little bit, and I just bend it. So this will basically keep the spring where it needs to be, and it'll sit like so in his housing. So, and so next step is, since this part is very shallow and it's very low, what I wanted to do was grab another one of these aluminum channels that I had, flip it to the flat side, and have it sit like this, right? So this part is flush. So I could run thicker pieces through the bandsaw. But the problem I had was, as you can see right there, there was a gap that was causing this to bend like this. So I had a piece of aluminum, I cut it to size, I put it in here, right? And I put it in. Now, if you don't have an aluminum, a piece of flat wood, I don't know if it's, you want to make sure it's squared enough to go on top of this, so you don't have to deal with all this stuff. So this is going to go on top of this like this. Like so. And I'm going to screw it from the bottom. But make sure you don't screw anything at the both ends of this. All the screws need to go in the middle, because this is for your miter, for your bandsaw. So the clips are going to be pretty much sitting here and right here. So if you're going to tighten anything down, you want to do it from the middle, and you want to do you don't want to do big screws that have a huge head. You want something smaller so it can actually go through and sit sort of flat. So basically they're going to sit under this, and you have good enough clearance to basically make that happen. So it's going to be tricky to put this on, so I'm going to screw this in first, but I got to be careful, because once you screw stuff in here, you can't slide any of these mechanism in, especially this. So the first thing you want to do is to slide this mechanism in, right? You want this all the way in. Okay, that's in. And then you want the first clip to be pushed all the way back. So this is your housing right here. This is the only one that's going to be moving back and forth to tighten it, and this one is basically where the spring is, where it makes it tighter, right? So your screws should go in here, so you have some playroom. You can move this across, put the screws in, then put the final piece in. So let's do that right now. Make sure everything is lined up. And I will make some pilot holes first, then I'll use some small screws and screw this in. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so I put one hole in right here, and I screwed it in. So I don't know if you guys can see it or not. So this is gonna basically keep this in place while I make the other holes and screw it in. Alright guys, so it is screwed in. I am going to put the final piece in, which is this. You will need something to pull this out a little bit so you can put the handle in. There we go. All right, the pin is in. Let's see. So this part is basically where the tension happens. And I get enough tension that will lock this thing in place. So it gets enough play, and this part's supposed to be the adjusting part. So next is where I am going to put these as a rail system that will basically sit like this on the bandsaw. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so I punched a hole here straight through with my drill press for both of them. Now these measurements are going to be different for every saw, so it's not going to be the same. This is why I didn't really show you what the measurements were, and they are screwed in right there. If you can see, they are screwed in with I believe it was a 5mm screw. So it sits here pretty tight. There you go. And the best way to do it is I ran masking tape across from here to here, and I marked the holes with a pencil, and I put it on the reverse side, and you know, it worked. And it is not fully leveled. I don't want it fully leveled. I want it to be a little bit lower than this lip, so when I run the boards across, it doesn't get stuck. So there you go. Alright guys, so this is the finished product. It came out as good as I thought it was gonna come out. So I mounted these rails. This one sits a little bit lower because if I want to pass something through, I don't want to get stuck. This one sits very flush with here. I'm gonna run some tests. I want to make sure everything works. I might drop this down a little bit too, just in case. I don't want anything getting stuck. So only issue I found with this was that we already know this is a budget rep fence unless you want to spend about $100 some. There's a gap. See that little bow? I don't know if that's from. I think that's from the Harbor Freight guide. I don't think it's my I don't think it's the cast iron. I think that's it. It's from the Harbor Freight guide. So this will do for now until I actually decide or afford to upgrade and put a different guide on here or rep fence. But for now, this will do. I'm gonna do a little test run and let's see how it comes out. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so what I'm actually using to square this thing is, a square. So when I want to move this whole thing, I'll just make sure this is aligned with my square. I just move it to where I need it and lock it in place and just double check, make sure this is squared enough, and then just run my piece through it and see how then we'll measure, I guess, see if this thing actually it's cutting straight or not, if it's actually squared. So let's do this. All right. Let's see. Actually, you know what? What I'm gonna do, I have an idea. All right, so first cut. $18.71. $18.23. $18.73. $18.9. $18.1. $18.7. $18.2. So 18.5. 18.3. It's not bad. Let me measure them this way. 18.69. 18.35. 18.5. 18.3. Wait. Yeah, I can't. All right. Gotta do it from here. 18.2. 18.6. So, you also have to realize that this blade also wobbles. So, it's gonna. This is as good as it's gonna get with this fence, and I wasn't really looking for a very, very, very solid cut. As you can see right here, I don't know if this can focus on it. See the grooves, guys? This is from the saw blade. So you'll never get true cuts or true to the T, but this is pretty damn close to what I needed it. I mean look at the cuts. They're very they're sort of clean. I mean, but this blade is a sawed-off blade, so we're never gonna get that true cut that you want. But it's not bad. It's not that far off as far as the cuts go. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm curious to see if this is exactly how it needs to be. All right, guys. So quick follow-up. When I made those wood cuts, the measurements were a little off. And so I found out why. It was because my bed wasn't leveled. So my bed was kind of tilted a little bit. I should have made sure my bed was fully leveled. But what happened was when I put it against the blade, I had a little gap about this much with the blade. So yeah, that was the issue. So right now I completely leveled the bed and it's sitting flush with the blade. So this pretty much solves the problem. I did run some cuts and seems to be working fine. Again, for me, I had extra pieces of these aluminum. You don't have to use this setup. You could use anything you want, but the main thing was this, the clip, the Harbor Freight clip. And all you need is a square to basically square up your stuff. And you know, this should be sufficient enough for ripping almost anything you want. Again, leave your comments down below. Let me know if I made any mistakes or if you would upgrade or do anything different than what I did. As you can see, it's also like sticking out pretty good distance, only because of all this contraption that had to be here in order for this to work. So this is what, about 6 or 7 inches sticking out. I mean, it's not a deal breaker. It works. It kind of, you know, it works exactly how I want it to work. And as far as this working on this side, it's gonna work, but you know, I don't have that extra padding that I need. But hey, you know, you pick and choose your battles. At this point, this is the battle I chose, and you know, I could actually make it all the way down here. So, and when I squeeze it in, this is pretty sturdy, so it doesn't even actually squeeze this in. So it's pretty sturdy, guys. So kind of happy with it. And I'll get the full, I don't know how much that is. I think that's about what, 12 inches now. About 11 3/8. So that's the max I could cut. Technically, this is supposed to be a 14-inch saw, measuring 13.58. So I lose about 2 inches. About 2 inches I lost. But hey, it is a lot better than a 9-inch one. Because with a 9-inch, you can't really cut much. So, all right, let me know what you think.